Hi there. In this session, we're going to look at strategies to safely build up your activity and exercise levels. Hopefully you will have had a chance to watch the video on finding your baseline and be a little bit more confident about what your baseline looks like. By looking analytically at the activities and exercise you do and the way your body responds to each one, some patterns should have emerged. You will have identified activities to eliminate for now, and also have quantified how many minutes at a time you can manage for all the remaining activities. You'll have a structure of activities interspersed with rest. You'll have mapped out and scheduled your week into a weekly planner, and this ensures that you have a realistic amount and a good balance of activities. So you're going to want some activities that are productive and give you a sense of weekly achievement, and also some activities for leisure, for fun, and some that simply are good for your mental health. And it's hugely important to communicate and involve your loved ones and colleagues in your pacing schedule so that they have a realistic expectation of what you're capable of doing and what you hope to achieve in the day or the week. Having such discussions with them will make them far more likely to be supportive as you endeavour to pace yourself and progress. The next step is knowing how to gradually build on your activity capacity at a safe level. Once you have a comfortable baseline, your status quo, your body has the space it needs to function. In terms of building up your activity levels from here, it's a very, very slow and steady process, which will realistically take place over months rather than weeks. Pacing is boring and it is frustrating, but it's also your key for rebuilding your life safely and avoiding crashes. Once you put together your weekly schedule based on your baseline, I want you to get into the habit of keeping an activity and rest log and keep referring to it as a guide throughout the day. As the day progresses and your fatigue and brain fog set in, it's easy to lose track and do too much. So having a written baseline structure of activity and rest will help you to stay on target and within your energy reserves. A good strategy is to set a timer for the time that you've scheduled on your planner. This will help you to stick to exact times and avoid overdoing it and relapsing. So the first step to rebuilding your activity levels is to firstly stabilise on your baseline activity level for 4 to 5 days. On day 4 or 5, choose a couple of activities on your daily schedule and increase them by 10%. Now when you're choosing an activity or activities, try and choose one physical one and one cognitive one, and keep it as timed and measured as possible to be most effective, especially if you found yourself going through a cycle of peaks and troughs. So, I'll give you an example. If you've managed to do 10 minutes of walking up the road consecutively for the last 4 times that you've tried it, on day 5, try to increase this to 11 minutes. Stay on this level for 4 days and then increase it to 12.5 minutes for 4 days. And then to 15 minutes for 4 days, and then to 17.5 minutes for 4 days. Now, I've given you the example in minutes, but you may find it easier to increase the distance by counting the number of driveways or lampposts that you can walk to and back. Relating this strategy to a cognitive activity may look something like increasing the amount of time that you can focus on a crossword puzzle, a TV programme, a business meeting, or a phone conversation. So this means that in a month, you will have doubled the amount of time that you can spend on that task. Every 4 to 5 days, update your daily activity and rest log with the gradual increments of activity. I always recommend that clients keep a column on this log to make notes. On this column, you can jot down your fatigue scores at various points during the day or after various activities. Jot down events that make it difficult for you to stick to your schedule. These might be things such as unexpected work meetings or phone calls, or maybe childcare issues such as having a teething child or a sick child, or it might be difficulty because you've got some other symptoms. And these notes will help you, your OT, or another health professional to see patterns and trends in your fatigue. These patterns may be blind to you as you struggle to carry on your everyday chores. But believe me, they become much clearer when they're written down and they're looked at through fresh eyes. They'll help you to choose which activities to increase next. So remember, the key takeaways to build on your baseline activity level are to measure or quantify daily activities as much as possible. Stick to the same level of activity for 3 to 4 days. On day 5, increase that level of activity by 10%. Stick at the new level of activity for 3 to 4 days. And on day 5, increase the new level by 10%. All the time though, remembering that if you experience more fatigue, return to your last safest level of activity. And if you're experiencing other symptoms, leave it a day or two before increasing. And if you experience a crash or a relapse, return to your baseline activity level. Now, in conclusion, I just want to reiterate that I do know that pacing is boring and it can be really frustrating, but I also know that it can get you back to where you long to be. So with that said, I just wish you all the best. I hope there are some strategies in here which can really help you to get your life back on track. And if you feel like sharing, I would love to know how some of these strategies have helped you. Thanks ever so much. Bye for now.